Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends, fans come together, BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. This week we don't have an artist. We're talking 2024 top 10 favorite albums of the year. I'm Jason. With me is Tim.
Zoombar.
And back from New Zealand. We record these so out of order. Never mind. That's a spoiler. Spoiler alert. Bill's going to New Zealand. And we're talking...
But I think he's just back from Tasmania or Baltimore. I can't remember.
Same place, really.
All right. Shout out Trey. We asked our Discord members what were their favorite albums of the year. And Trey, some of his picks were Spirits, Letter to Self, Fu Manchu, The Return of Tomorrow, ML and the Sniffers, Cartoon Darkness, and The Cure's Songs of a Lost Word.
I haven't heard the Amyl and the Sniffers yet, but I do. It's on my list.
It's on my list too. I just didn't get around to it.
The more I listen to that band, the more I enjoy them. So
yeah, and The Cure, that's a decent Cure album. And Herp Alert, I'm just gonna list his top 4 because he listed about 50 albums. So Demon Bitch, Master of the Games, The Foleys, Permanent Present Tense, Sheer Mag, Playing Favorites, and Savage Oath, Divine Battle.
Okay.
I know none of those.
Was the Crip Sermon on his list at all?
Probably.
They put out an album this year.
Probably. That dude listed, go check out our Discord. I looked at it and said, yeah, that's some Tim shit. But yeah, so I guess I'll start off with my number 10. And it's going to be Seven Spires.
Wow.
Ooh. Wow.
It was good. It grew on me. First time I heard it, I was like, eh. The second time I was like, okay. And so it grew on me. It's my number 10.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know. Again, with no spoilers or anything about what's coming up soon, but I recently revisited this album as well. And it's not going to make my list for this year. A lot of good stuff came out this year, but it was better than I remembered it being the first listen. So,
it's a grower. It's a grower.
Yeah, that's one way to say it.
See, and yet I listen to it and it feels more like a shower.
It's a grower that turns into
But we'll
a
get
shower.
into that. We'll get into that.
All right, Tim, what's your number 10?
Well, mine's going to kind of be along the same lines of yours, and I'm going to come out of left field with mine. My number 10 is going to be Unt by Pinhead Gunpowder.
Okay.
Not one I've had a chance to revisit. So, go back and watch our review of it when it came out. That's still kind of how I feel.
Was that a jab at me?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, they can't go back and watch that review because we didn't record it.
That's right. No, that's a jab at me. I forgot. I remember reviewing that one.
It was a damn good review too, but we just, sometimes things don't get recorded.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil 9 through 1, but I'm going to say that this Pinhead Gunpowder album is better than the last 4 Green Day albums I've heard. And so for that merit alone, it's good to see Billy Joe Armstrong do something. I don't want to say different, but different.
Oh, we'll be talking about Pinhead Gunpowder again in 1997 when their first album came out.
Okay.
They made the list.
Well, I like the new one. Looking at my list, depending on how a couple others would get categorized, I would say this is probably my punk rock album of the year.
Okay.
I see where you're going from.
We may be talking about that album a little later anyway. So,
Okay. Okay.
Bill, what's your number 10?
I mean, does I not to spoil my list? That Panic Gunpowder was my first one off the list. Like that was my number 11 when I was making my top 10.
Yeah, it's a decent album. It was
Yeah.
enjoyable.
And precursor disclaimer, I'm probably gonna have a significantly different list from both Jason and Tim, and probably some objectifiable hot takes. So my number 10.
Wow, Bill's already laying it down.
Right.
You know what you're getting into. My number 10 is going to be Strung Out Dead Rebellion.
Okay.
Thought it was a really solid album. I didn't know about Strung Out. This album, though, made me want to go. I want to listen to some Strung Out at some point.
Oh, we're going to get strung out. All right, Tim, what's your number 9?
Okay. Well, it kind of goes back to my number 10. Would we consider Blood, Hair, and Eyeballs by the Alkaline Trio punk rock?
I do.
I would.
Punk rock album of the year, then. Uh, I feel it's a little more radio rocky, especially compared to the rest of their discography. It seems a little more straightforward,
Yeah.
but they do it really well. And it started this year off strongly. This was one of those records that, like, for at least a few months, it was like, well, is it better than this? And then, yeah, it's a really enjoyable album. Again, it's one. It came out almost 11 months ago, 12 months ago. So I haven't revisited it in a while. Because one of the fun things about this list is, like, and I'm curious to see what your guys' take is on this. Because, like, doing this show and working this channel, your listening schedule's very regimented, and so it's hard to rank these albums because I haven't been able to go back to them as much as I would, say, if I was able to listen to what I wanted to listen to when I wanted to listen to it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this could theoretically go up in numbers as I hear it more. There's going to be a number of these that I need to go back and revisit, or have only revisited once or twice. But yeah, strong release from Alkaline Trio. Great way to start the year off.
That. Go check out our Alkaline. Go check out our Alkaline Trio rankings, where we all in depth go over what we thought about that album.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, what's your number 9?
My number 9, though it wasn't stellar for the band, I thought it was still a solid album for them to release in 2024. And that's going to be Pearl Jam. I thought that Dark Matter was a great album. It sounds like Pearl Jam. What do you expect?
No, that just sat funny on my ears. Yeah.
All right. This is where I'm going to say we are an unscripted show because Pearl Jam is my number 9 as well.
Okay.
I like Pearl Jam. This is a decent Pearl Jam. Is it their best? No.
No.
Is it
But
overrated?
it's not their worst.
Yes, it's overrated. But it's still a decent Pearl Jam. I mean, there's worse Pearl Jam records. They're like the Foo Fighters. They put out an album, you know what you're going to expect, you know what you're going to get, and it's enjoyable. Dad rock.
As opposed to Momcore.
Yeah. That's Bill Core.
Boy, there's a mixture.
All right. Well, I guess Bill, what's your number 8? Because
I mean,
I had the
well,
same one.
speaking of, artists putting out an album where it's a band that's been going on for I'll say a decently long time, back in, what was it, 70s, 80s, sometime around there. That's going to be Deep Purple equals one.
Since the '60s.
Case in
They're
point,
60 years plus into this career on that
which is
album.
which is insane to think about. I mean, just a band like for being again 2024 and then putting out this album, like there's a lot on it that I mean, kind of speaking to Tim's point, of us having a regimented listening, I absolutely wholeheartedly agree. That's why a lot of times I try and just pull songs into my own like side playlist that I listen to from when we listen to stuff. It's like, hey, I really like this song. I'm gonna pull it off to the side here,
Trying to
put
do
it in my
that too.
playlist.
If one really jumps out at me, I'm just like, okay, add it. you know.
Yes. Yep. And I mean, yeah, there's a couple off of that album I absolutely added. And I mean, I'll say this: every single album in my top 10, plus Grenade Gunpowder, which was my number 11, I have at least one song from every album that I just have on my playlist I listen to.
That's good. I feel Tim's sentiment too. There's a lot of times it's like I really don't want to be listening to this. I'd rather be listening to that. But I have to listen to this because we're going to talk about that. So I feel it.
And
I
I
feel
actually
it.
have to be somewhat informed.
Yeah, I know a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why the Chili Peppers were so fun. Go back and watch those videos. Um, my number 9, my number 8 is gonna be the Linda Lindas.
Ooh. Okay.
It's good. I mean, they're good for their age. If you want to use the flip side of Deep Purple, what the Linda Lindas accomplished at their age is pretty good too. So it's a fun little pop punk record. All right, Tim.
Where are we at? 8? Okay, so 8 is one that did fall off our release schedule, but we got real close. And I'm going to go with 5 by Lucifer. Part Swedish, part German, melodic doom metal. It's good stuff. I really like her voice. I really like the songs. It's just good, old fashioned, like good time rock and roll. Much like the Alkaline Trio, where I feel it feels a little more rock and roll as opposed to punk rock, perhaps. This Lucifer's always been a pretty rock and roll band, and I was able to listen to this one a couple times, but it's been a while. But it was a really enjoyable album, and that's actually, a 5 album discography I wouldn't mind doing. They're all pretty good albums. So,
Put them on the list.
uh,
I did this. This
yeah,
one was okay. I remember listening. It was decent.
yeah, it's a fun one.
This was before my time, so I actually never fully got to experience that one.
Yeah, this was
Yeah,
before
if I
your
remember
time.
correctly, it was your first week, so we had to bail.
Huh. That would do
Yeah,
it.
somebody didn't do their homework on it. I remember that. I ain't saying any
Yeah,
names, but it was not Tim and I, and it was not Bill. All right, my next one, number 7. Yeah, it's the Offspring. You know,
Okay.
it's the Offspring. I mean,
You're gonna make it all right.
they've kind of crossed over into that dad rock genre of you're going to get an Offspring album, you know what you're going to get. But this one does have a few little twists and turns and surprises on it that I like it. I mean, I like it.
I mean, you can never go wrong with a Bob Rock production either. He always just makes great sounding records.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds fantastic on vinyl.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tim.
Okay, we could slot that Deep Purple back in. Much for the same reasons that Bill brought out. Here we are, 60 plus years into a career. Uh, I've got a couple songs that I've added to my playlist. Every time they jump on, I'm like, man, this thing rips. They sound great, great production. A lot of they cover every base on this album. And I don't know, the older I get, the more I appreciate legacy acts, especially if they're still doing it. Go back and watch our Hackney Diamonds review from a couple years ago. And yeah, this is one I have had a chance to go back a couple times to, and it's a really good album. I enjoy it thoroughly.
Yeah, I mean, Hackney Diamonds made it in my top 3 for 2022 or
Well,
2023.
and it pains me to have this low. Until I actually put pen to paper and started making decisions, I would have sworn this would have been in my top 3 for the year.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But then you say, "Oh, that's right, that came out." Oh, oh, that's right, that came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, some of my shit had to move around here. I went back and
Yeah.
listened to all of these, and I was like,
So yeah, same disclaimer as the Alkaline Trio. That I could easily move up the list.
Hmm.
all right, Bill, number 7.
All right, time for probably one of the hottest takes in this video. My number 7, the vinyl I bought, is going to be Linkin Park. Um, Call it nostalgia. It's not really nostalgia. I mean, you don't have Chester anymore, but you still have the rest of the band. The sounds
Except for
on
the
it.
drummer and the guitar player, right?
Nope, they're
Or
still
is
the
it a
same.
keyboard player that's new? Or
It,
No, the
drummer's
keyboard's
the
Mike.
same. Keyboard. It's actually that's the thing because I know we mentioned it was new. It's you take out Chester, stuck in Emily, and it's basically the same band.
right, but it is a couple different people in the band. I did see that a couple original guys did not sign on.
Okay, because when I looked, I thought it was literally the graphic I saw was the same, but copy paste.
I'll have to look into that. Let us
Yeah.
know down below if you know what we're talking about, because
Yeah,
we clearly don't.
no, it did probably be.
Yeah, don't come to Old Drunken Discography for accurate news, music news. You come here
Yeah,
for
I try. I still try.
we try, but it's only bands
Yeah.
we like.
Thanks, algorithm.
All right. The
Who's
dot,
got the dot?
the dot has gone away. I've got the dot there.
It
Dash
should be
there.
Tim, I think.
Yep, it's Tim.
Okay. I got another repeat. We're gonna go in the number 6 slot. No Obligation by the Linda Lindas. Would we consider this punk rock?
I do.
I mean, at least punk at minimum.
Yeah, it's fucking pop punk. It's Ramones.
Okay, well then
core.
I'm gonna go with punk rock album of the year. And it's got Weird Al. Like, that's pretty punk.
Oh yeah,
But yes, I consider Linda's pop punk. So it's like
Okay,
a
well,
subgenre of punk.
And yeah, I think the juxtaposition with them right next to Deep Purple hopefully kicks a fire under some people, because if Deep Purple could do it, then the next generation needs to be just as good. And I don't know, are they an industry plant? Does it even matter?
They're like 4 generations apart, though. That's like
Yeah, well, exactly.
that's a
But no, I think
multi-generational.
from what I've heard of the
Goddamn
Linda
century.
Lindas, I've enjoyed what they're doing, and I can't wait to see what directions they take moving forward.
Bill. What's your number 6?
So, again, kind of flipping back to, I want again an older act, I guess. I mean, it's a person who's gone on with a solo career now, and that's gonna be the David Gilmour album that got released. I mean, the fact, I mean, he had his daughter doing some vocals on a couple of the tracks. That was phenomenal.
Is it
Great
Rick Wright on
vocals.
a couple tracks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's, again, this is a great album. Brings me back to, listening to stuff. I mean, obviously, it reminds me of stuff, listening to like The Wall or something like that. But it's just David Gilmour shredding a guitar and just want to put it on, sip a glass of wine or whiskey, and just relax.
Yep. You nailed that one. All right, my number 6 is not David Gilmour. It is David number 6. Oh, this hurts too. This fucking hurts. My number 6 is Saviors by Green Day.
So you're saying it's better than the Offspring?
Well, yeah, it's fucking Green Day.
Well, we'll get to that Dookie
What?
versus Smash, right?
Oh, we're gonna do that shit.
And then we'll do Supercharged versus Saviors.
You damn right. Let's go. But
I'm
no,
okay with that.
it hurt. It hurts me that it's number 6 and not number 1. There ain't been a year a Green Day record comes out that it's not my number 1 album, and it hurts me to put it at number 6 because it ain't the best Green Day record. We're gonna get to Green Day. We're gonna re-rank them again, including Saviors. Stick around for that. Could be some hot takes. But yeah, whatever. Bill, what's your number 5?
I'm actually going to need to pull a quick mulligan. I misread my numbers. So Linkin Park and David Gilmour both got to move up one spot. Then sliding into my number 7 spot, you can just copy that Green Day Saviors walk
Yeah,
right
you
in
see
there.
what he's fucking doing. You see that? Mm-hmm. Mulligan.
No, no,
He just dropped that
got it.
motherfucker down because we said it was better than the
No, no,
Offspring.
it's written right there. Green Day 7. It's right there.
Mhm,
I just overlooked it. I don't know why. For whatever reason, saw GD. I flipped it in my head. I'm like, well, David Gilmour was better than Linkin Park. I don't know why I had it
damn
below
it, this
there.
is
Gotta
fucking
flip it back again.
1994 all over again. Fucking
I
30
wish.
years later. 30 years later having the same battle. Go back and watch our 1994 album of the decade.
Division
Okay,
belt.
all things aside, the Green Day again. It was a Green Day album. I don't even know if this Green Day album would crack my top 8 Green Day albums. Maybe not even top 10. Like, it's a solid album. Yes, I know. I went to their show on this tour. But, I mean, when they were playing the song, it's like, all right, I'm liking all the Dookie and American Idiot more. And then, no, here's the actual Saviors one that
Do
they're
you
touring with.
want to be my girlfriend? Do you want to be my boy?
We'll get to top songs, but the one that I picked off of there, you're probably going to look at me and go, really?
Okay, you just changed the bonus cup. Okay, I like it. All
What I'm
right,
here for.
my
Don't know
number
what I'm doing.
my number 5. See, this is fucked up. This is how this show has fucked me. Is going to be the Melvins. The Melvins put out a better record than what, like, my second favorite band of all time. But the Melvins like just come out of nowhere with this puke.
Oh, but
green-
no, they didn't. they've been
were
doing
always
this
there.
consistently the whole time. Yeah.
Well, I had to listen to a Melvins record for the review of it, and I love that record. That's a damn good album. It's a weird one. It's only 5
It is.
songs, but
Yeah, the first one you fall asleep during, then you wake up and it's
you
still
don't
going.
fall asleep during track 1, man. Yeah, I don't see how that's possible. That's a goddamn
Right? It
magnum
just gets
opus
better from there.
of music. But anyway, yeah, that's my number 5. Sorry, Green Day.
No, you're not.
I like it.
I They hurt my feelings.
Well, that's what the Melvins do best.
Well, I was talking about Green Day hurt my feelings.
Oh, okay.
Melvin's made up for it. Melvin said, "Come here,
Yeah.
we're gonna take you in."
For my number 5, I am going to again point out that not only is this show unscripted, but that Bill's little caveat at the beginning of his list was unnecessary. My number 5 is going to be "Luck is Strange" by David Gilmour.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah, amazing album. I know we're not all Pink Floyd fans, but I certainly am, and I'm a big fan of the David Gilmour solo albums too. This is what, the 6th one now, I think, and they're all incredible. This one has, yeah, like you said, it's got his daughter on there. Polly Sampson's still doing a lot of writing. There's some Rick Wright tracks. It is classic David Gilmour. There's something about the way that he puts together music that just is undeniable. And much like the Deep Purple, here's someone who's been doing this since the 60s, still putting out quality music.
2000s bands, what are you guys doing?
All right. Well, at this point, it's like 2000s, 90s, 80s, 70s. Like, what are y'all
Yeah.
doing?
We need a meeting.
Know, sometimes
Meeting.
those legacy
Yep,
acts
yep, yep.
are good for a reason, you know?
My number 4. Again, this pains me too, because any year this band would have put out a record, if as long as it wasn't up against a Green Day album, it'd be number 1, and that is "Strung Out," Dead Rebellion. It's strung out, it's fucking strung out, but it is better shit that came out this year, so.
So I thought it was a solid album, but I don't know that much about Strung Out, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got it way higher than you, but that's just band bias.
Yeah.
You ain't heard "Strung Out" yet. Wait till 1998. All right, Tim, what's your number 4?
Okay, so my number 4 is something I think is um, just as timeless as the David Gilmour quality, albeit from a different generation. Uh, but it's another legacy act. I'm gonna go with "Rat" by the Jesus Lizard. Their first album in quite a while. Incredible album. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Not one I've had a chance to go back and listen to as much as I'd like. But I remember really enjoying that. And it's only going to get better. It's the Jesus Lizard. You can't really go wrong.
Yeah, I have a caveat to your statement earlier about not. You said we don't have time to listen to a lot of stuff because of the show. I based my top 10 albums, my rankings, on the albums that I went back to the most.
Okay.
That's how I did it. So
That checks
Right
out.
on. Yeah. That's science right there. I love it.
like I made time for my top 3.
I mean, it's been tough choices.
Yeah,
But
it's
yes,
been tough,
obviously I've spent the most time with my top 3, so.
All right, Bill, what's your number 4?
Number 4, got the vinyl 4 as well. And that's going to be the Offspring album.
See,
No.
he's got this one better than Green Day. We
You're
gotta
just-
duke this out.
You just stirring the fucking pot over there. I see
Listen,
you.
the numbers have been there this whole time. All right. I mean, let's say this is just an album I go back to, Just pointed out the vinyl. Yep, sounds absolutely amazing. Um, the songs, you know, it's not on another Americana. They got a little different twist on it. Went metal, which was interesting. I kind of liked it though. Yeah, just really enjoyed this Offspring album.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's okay.
You have it at 7.
Saviors is better.
You have it at 6 and 7.
Yeah, but I also haven't had anything in here that you've had since then, so our metrics are a little skewed. But just putting these two together here, just these two.
Yeah, we're at 6 and 7. Just flip flop. Yeah.
You just changed my top songs. All right, Tim, what's your number 3?
Well, my number 4 came out on Ipecac Records. Shout out Ipecac Records. And my number 3 came out on Ipecac Records. I'm going to go with the Melvins, Tarantula Heart. Another duplicate. I can never go wrong with the Melvins album. They usually are pretty consistently at the top of my charts anytime they put out an album. And this one doesn't disappoint again. It's just incredible stuff. Another band that, yeah, they've been doing this a while, but they're so full of surprises still, and I can't wait to see what's next.
That's what's so. It's such an unconventional record.
You know, and what's funny
But it
about
isn't,
that
you know.
is this is one of the more normal sounding Melvins records to me. Yeah, there's some experimentation, but a lot of their albums just go way out there.
Well,
And
we'll
this
get
one
to-
feels like really concentrated and well thought out, put together.
I want.
And of
This
course,
is
they
a band I want
deconstructed it
to.
and changed all the drums. And
I want to do the whole discography of the Melvins. That's like we're gonna when we're done with Black Sabbath.
that's Sabbath style for
and then-
sure.
yeah, and then Bill's he's got our next Sabbath style band he's gonna choose for us. But eventually we're gonna do the Melvins like that because we're gonna get to that discography.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I know Bill hadn't put it on his yet. I'm sure this is coming now here, right? Or is it even higher
Well.
for Bill?
Well, it's not gonna be my number 3, and this one was difficult for me. My 2 and my 3, it literally depends on the mood I'm in that day. But for my number 3, I'm gonna go with Alkaline Trio, Blood, Hair, and Eyeballs. Like, phenomenal album. Again, go check out our Alkaline Trio, Rant and Rank. There's not a bad song on the album.
It's true. That is true. I mean, really, is there a bad song on any of these albums?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Well, my list doesn't have any bad songs.
Well, you ain't got Green Day and the Offspring.
That's right. I know better than to go to Brazil.
I mean, I'm looking at your list. I see a few of them that's got some bad songs on it too, but I ain't going.
Oh,
mean,
well,
it's-
okay.
It's all about taste.
Yeah, it's all about taste.
That's
What
true.
makes us great. We all have different tastes. Shit, it's my turn, isn't it? Fuck. My number 3 is a repeat, and it's the Jesus Lizard.
Nice.
This one does not have a bad song on it. This motherfucker rips. It's
Yeah,
another.
it really does.
It's like they never missed a beat. Like it just continues after all these years. Fucking good shit. That's
And Yao
my
sounds
90s.
amazing on it.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
90s. Play some algorithm. Play some fucking Jesus Lizard.
Yeah, and some Melvins.
Yeah, some well, yeah.
That,
Oh.
Hell, that's major label Melvins right there. The 90s.
Yeah, but they didn't really. We'll get into that.
Well, Well, yes, we will. Yes, we will. Oh, I can't wait.
Bill, what's your number two?
I mean, you know, algorithm. Why don't we play some Linda Lindas? I
Ooh,
mean,
jeez.
I don't, there's not a bad song on this album either, as far as I'm concerned.
No, yeah,
Um,
there's not a bad song on that fucking Linda Linda's.
I mean, it's say start to finish, it's fantastic album. Love what they're doing. Um, yeah, just every bit of it just is a fantastic album.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of the only records that made it across all three of us so far.
Yeah.
All right. My number two. Yeah, ain't no bad song on this one. It's Pinhead Gunpowder. I fucking love this record. I won't say it's better than the last five Green Day albums, but it's definitely better than the Green Day album that came out this year. By a long shot. And probably the past two Green Day records before that. But whatever. I love that sound. Like that is the type of music that Atari's pop punk, Ramones type shit. And they do other things on the record too. I mean there's some rock and roll on here too, but oh, the lyrics are so good. Everything about this I don't have a copy of it. It's still coming in the mail. I'm waiting for my red colored copy, but I love that record. And
Nice.
it's been a long time since Pinhead Gunpowder put out an album, so. What about you, Tim? What's your number two?
Well, keeping with the pop punk tradition here, I'm going to go with High on Fire with Cometh the Storm.
How in the fuck is that keeping with the pop punk tradition? That is burning. That's like fucking anti pop punk.
Oh man, High on Fire is one of those bands that I really enjoy pretty much everything they put out, and I don't see us getting to this discography anytime soon. So I'm not sure exactly where I'd put this in their discography, but it feels top tier. This is probably like one of my three favorite albums by them over the 25 years they've been putting out albums. I really enjoyed this one. I thought there was a lot of really interesting guitar stuff. Cody Willis from Big Business and the Melvins on drums. Yeah, just an amazing album, front to finish. Just yeah, just great album. Great to drive to.
I think that was before Bill too, wasn't it?
No, I was there for that one.
Yeah, I don't think
Were
Bill
you?
liked that one. Yeah.
I didn't. That one. That one I had mixed feelings on, if I remember right.
Okay.
I'll have to go
Yeah,
back and
no,
listen
that's
again.
one it's been a couple months since I've been able to visit it, but I was able to visit it for a couple months when it came out, and yeah, it's great.
I remember
Big
not.
fan.
I remember hearing I remember liking Seven Spires more, but they're not really comparable. So
No,
at all. But
no.
I did like it better than what I'm thinking. No, I know what Tim's number one is. Has to be, but
Do
I say it
you?
has to be. If it's not, I'm gonna be very surprised.
and I kind of think I know what Bill's is. Well, so I'm really shocked that this Calvera didn't make anybody's list.
That's what I thought
'cause it's a
Tim's number one
re-recording?
was. Oh,
No, that's not Tim's number one. I know what Tim's is. He had me at it.
Because it's one we skipped, but I ended up hearing it and it blew me away.
That happens. I mean, But my number one, we've already talked about twice now. But that's the Alkaline Trio. And I
knew it
know I'm
was coming.
biased. I love this fucking record. It's perfect. There's not a bad song on it. It's Well, go watch our Alkaline Trio rankings to see where it goes. And I think this is one that's just going to keep moving up their ranks for me. But I love this album. It's fucking good. I'm biased. That's my band.
I mean, it's a solid album. That's why I got it at 3. That's why I bought it.
Oh, hey, you got it too. All three of us have it, actually.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. That and the Linda Lindas.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't got the Linda Liz on vinyl yet.
What?
Oh, yeah, I don't have that one yet. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That's the only. There's 2 of my top 10 I don't have. It's the Linda Lindas and Pinhead Gunpowder. The rest of them I bought. For
There's still a couple I need to get. I'm looking at this list, like, yeah, I need to get that on vinyl, and I need to get that on vinyl. But I was able to pick up a couple of them.
7 Spires. I don't have that one either. It's these 2 I don't have. This one's coming, so I don't have it yet.
Okay.
Well, Tim, what is your number 1 album?
Well, my number 1 album was a little controversial when it came out, actually, so I didn't include it on our new release list, but I was aware of it. And I'm going to go with the Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats with Nell Ora Blue. If you're unfamiliar with Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, it's like if John Lennon was fronting Black Sabbath, or if Charles Manson was fronting the Beatles. Is what they normally sound like. But this album, they decided instead to create a soundtrack to an Italian giallo horror film from the 60s and or 70s, and they go full Pink Floyd on this album. You know, I'm a fan of Uncle Acid. I love their sound. I think they're one of the best, new rock bands, even though they've been out for about 15 years now. And anybody that knows my musical taste knows I love it if you're going to, just imagine an Italian horror film score. And so, yeah, that's it's not a trope that's been done a whole bunch, but a couple people have done it. And so it's not like a completely original idea. But as far as just a piece of music and just an all-encompassing work of art, this album is easily the best thing that came out this year. They are doing a little theater tour of it in February that I'll be going to, where they're going to play the whole thing in full. I can't wait for that. It's they got dialogue from old horror films. It's all in Italian, though. You have no idea what the hell's going on, but you don't need to. It's incredible, and they do. They go full Pink Floyd. It's very atmospheric, very cinematic, amazing album. Highly recommend it to anybody.
All right. Bill, what's your number 1 album of 2024?
well, Jason's probably got it figured out. Anyone who's known me or was here for when we did that album review, it shouldn't be any surprise it actually made my number 1. Again, got it on vinyl, and that's going to be 7 Spires. It's actually the first vinyl I ever bought. I mean, it's gorgeous aesthetically, physically, sonically, lyrically, you name it. For me, this is a phenomenal album. There isn't a thing that I don't like on it. I got this on the CD in my car. I listen to that as well. It's regularly in my regular shuffle on my playlist. Almost all of these songs have made it. Exception is, the opening instrumental, but in the context of the album, that instrumental is phenomenal. And all it is because they didn't want to make a 10-minute long song. They put a 2-minute instrumental in instead.
It works, though. It works in the album.
It works great. I can't wait for us to actually cover 7 Spires the entirety of the discography. Because they definitely have a pattern they do, and they just do it well.
We're doing that in 3 weeks, I think. After the Talking Heads.
Perfect.
All right. Well,
2024, a lot of good releases. New stuff, old stuff, surprises.
lots of
No
twists and
patent.
turns.
No patent this year.
No
Look out
patent,
for
no.
next year.
No, shit, all my bands put out. Oh, Lawrence Arms, they got something coming. Propaganda's got something coming. I'm excited. Creed might put out another record. Bill will get hyped about that.
No.
All right,
Nickelback might, though. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll be there to cover it too. Stick around for that. Now up next, top songs for 2024. No steals allowed, so we'll see how that goes.
It's gonna be rough.
Be safe and make good decisions.
And then you go a little woo, and then a little whoop, 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 and then it's all, and then you're ready to go again.